see Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hello, Terry.
Great to see you, Jack.
Nice to see you too. I'm looking forward to this. I've missed the other one, so.
We have a ball.
Well, at our age, it's a minute by minute thing, right?
Well, that's right.
You would
That's
say
right.
minute, day by day, maybe, not minute by
No,
minute.
no, mine set up a big birthday party for me, and she said, "You're going to be there, right?" And I said, "I'll let you know Friday morning."
That's right. Oh, remember we used to think in decades and then years and then months, and now it's weeks or days.
Yeah, I'm back to the 3-year-old level where I can't wait for my next birthday.
Must have been a great party.
It was really fun. Hey, it was out at Rosati's.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. John Thorne's coming on. Oh, hi there, John.
Hi.
Hey, great.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hello, John. This is Jack Lauterbach. Hi.
Hi, Jack. Greetings.
Good to see you all.
Nice background.
That's Nancy, yes.
I
Hi there,
consider,
Nancy.
Hi.
I
Good to
consider
see you.
Nancy one of my good friends.
Jack Lauterbach's with us this time, and so is John Thorne.
I see. Well, somebody's got the Golden Gate Bridge behind them.
That's me. That's Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Nice to see you.
I thought you
Well,
lived up in.
Walt is
There's
coming in.
Walt.
Hi there, Walt.
Oh, well,
Hi, Walt. Good to see you.
Oh,
Do we-
Patty, I invited somebody that was not on your list.
Oh, did you? Good.
Yeah.
Do we know how many people are left in our class?
John, who did you invite?
Well, her name now is Lynn Larson, but in Stanford days, she was known as Marilyn Warnicki.
Oh, I know Marilyn. Is she coming on?
Well, I gave her the information. She said she was going to try it.
Okay, I'll need her email so we can include her in the email next time.
Okay.
So we'll have,
Looks like Walt is the one farthest away from the rest of us here. Of course, he's always been ahead of most of us anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
the timing of this.
all of these meetings that you're having, I'm hosting on Zoom, and I'm recording it. And you need to know that you're being recorded, because if you don't want to be recorded, you can leave the meeting. But after the meeting, I take that recording and I edit it down to hopefully less than an hour. And I've been putting it on YouTube. So anytime you want to catch up on any of the meetings or what you yourself said, it's up on YouTube, open to the public, to anybody. And if you want to find it, you go to YouTube. You can look under Stanford class reunion, but you can go to Marge Blaine's, what do you call it, channel, Marge Blaine's channel, and you'll find all of your classes meetings. It's important that that message gets onto the class notes, because as these things grow, my class is doing it now too, and I'm hosting them. As we proceed, more and more of these wonderful stories that you're all telling are saved for posterity, and they're all on YouTube, and everybody in your class can share what you've all been saying to each other at these meetings.
I just want to be sure everybody gets to read my T-shirt here, my Kindness Foundation. It's a guy from Rotary and Canada that started it, and he gives all these T-shirts to kids, and they gives them a rubber band that goes around puts on their left wrist in the morning, and when they do an act of kindness, they put it on their right wrist, and they try not to go to bed without all of them always being on the right wrist.
That's what a good idea.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Now I've got Walt, I thought you were on for a social gathering here, but you're on for business, right? collect material for the column.
Well, the problem is the capacity now to absorb, retain, capture, and relay is compromised. but I you know what I do is I have a roster and I call and find more and more phone numbers are no longer in operation and so forth. But the matter of getting people to share a little bit about either what's going on or what they'd like to pass on.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
we're going to take a
while-
minute. We're
Yeah.
going to take a minute and say hi to Carol and hi to Betty Ann, hi to Don, hi to Boots, and hi to Carol from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And just a heads up, Bill and Judy Fernandez won't be able to join us today. They had other appointments. And so you just need to know that. So you're the lone one from Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
How's the weather over there today?
How's the weather? Well, today it's kind of a little breezy and sort of overcast, but it's not too hot, so that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Who are you calling breezy?
What?
Well, you said Hawaii is breezy.
That's me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wait.
wanted to ask Bill Fernandez, after reading his childhood books, and how he managed to survive childhood. You've all read those books, I hope, Kauai Kids and Moon Over Kapa.
I read over and answer my other phone.
Those are both good books about his growing up and between the sharks and the waves and the battle.
Betty Ann has done remarkably well in that same area of journalism.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And John has done so as well. His
John
first was
Boyd.
sort of
John
yeah.
Boyd.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
There you go.
18th novel has just been released.
It's at 18, did you say?
18th, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the mind which thinks itself. So it's a novel about the Central Valley of California.
That's your theme, isn't it? Most of the time.
They're novels, yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
do a
I'm-
Progressive View political column for the Rossmore News once a month with progressive views, and I just published 10 years of those articles, which is available now on
Oh,
Amazon.
wow. Oh,
Mhm.
that's fun. That's great.
Where is it available?
On Amazon, yeah.
Well,
Well, John, I've done a lot of writing all my life, but all my writing went out onto the ether, I mean, immemorable. Just floated out there and was forgotten after about 10 minutes it aired, probably. So I'm going to be stuck probably with one book because I don't think I'm writing another one. I wrote these stories 20 years ago. And when you publish your first book at, 89?
Better late than never.
Okay, we have someone else to welcome, and that's Stephen G, Dr. G, and his wife Phyllis is behind him. Good to have you with us because usually you're playing golf. What an excuse.
Yeah, I just finished 9 holes. Short par 30, shot a 40, but that's okay.
Hey, I've got to tell you a golf story. After the COVID is over here, my son, who's a retired lawyer, decided he wanted to take up golf. I said it was perfectly appropriate. I think most lawyers become golfers when they retire. Anyway, he got his our second son and our son-in-law and our grandson-in-law together for a golf game at the Presidio day before yesterday. And so out they went, and they got out there, and at about the 8th hole, they all had balls that were about 20 feet from the hole, and out of the bushes came a coyote.
Oh my gosh.
And he pointed straight at the ball and froze. And he sat there.
The coyote
Oh.
or your friend.
Oh, my.
They're pointing at the ball, And when nobody would throw it to him, he went over, picked up the ball and ran back in the bush.
In my boyhood, I used to find so-called lost balls in the bushes. That might be dangerous today.
Oh,
Great.
There you are, Dorcas.
Oh, hi, Dorcas. How are you?
Back from an eye injection, so I can see you faintly because the eyes are dilated.
We all look better out of focus, Dorcas, so that's good.
Right, yes.
Is anybody doing any traveling now that all the travel restrictions are being lifted?
I
Say
was
it
a
again.
month in Italy in October and there for the festival at Via Reggio.
Oh, wow.
We're going back to Maine in a couple of months. Our granddaughter, who's 30, she just got married and started a restaurant in Camden, Maine. And so we've got to go back to her restaurant and see it.
What's the name of it, Jack?
Speaking of traveling, we've been invited to go to Chittenango, upstate New York, the first weekend in June to go to the oldest Oz festival in the United States, the Oz festival in the world. It's when L. Frank Baum was born.
Oh my gosh.
And so as the only surviving member of the original cast of the movie who is still able to travel, they've invited me. I don't much like festivals because the only other one I went to, all I did was sit around for 3 days and sign autographs, and that isn't my idea of a good time. But
What part did you play, Betty Ann?
there were 12 little girls who were munchkins to fill in.
Sure.
Oh, really?
A munchkin set. So all the midgets have, or if you want to be PC about them, they call themselves midgets, but the last of the midgets died about 2 or 3 years ago. Jerry Marin.
Hello.
There are of the 12 little girls, there are 3 or 4 of us left, but the others are not well enough to travel. So people in the Oz world know I don't really like that kind of thing, but they said, well, we understand you teach hula now, so will you teach us all a hula?
That's great.
And so that's going to be fun. So I made up a little hula about going to the Oz extravaganza in Chittenango.
Very cute.
I have a 3rd story den, and that has become my office. So I'm sitting here and looking out there's windows on 3 sides. So that's where I am.
Okay, good. Wonderful.
If you could see the other side, you could see the whole harbor, but it wouldn't show from here.
Which harbor?
Yeah. What?
Which harbor?
Oh, the whole, I can basically see, quite I can see the whole harbor where the ships come in.
Where?
And then in Honolulu. And then I can see all the way down Waikiki. Mostly big buildings.
Nice.
It's like quite a view.
It is. It's really nice.
The only time I was was at Pearl Harbor was the day after Veterans Day, I think. And they had wreaths all over the ship that is out there. And so it was kind of a unique situation. I hadn't seen that before.
We have lots of celebrations and parades.
Yeah, Marge, I don't think you caught my shirt, which is a Stanford basketball shirt, because I'm honoring the women.
Yes.
Yeah, here for the women.
And this is
you're there.
Okay.
This is
Women's
men's
basketball.
Boots, you stand up right now, and I'm honing in on you. Stand up higher, yeah. Okay, boom, boom, got it, Boots.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had mine on yesterday.
I saw Lynn Larson there.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi there.
Hi there. Hi, John.
Oh,
Hi.
Gee, is anybody going to the games?
Watching them on TV.
I used to go all the time.
I watched the Stanford women.
Yeah, Tara Vanderveer is one of our neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
And,
How long has she been coach?
oh, I don't
Long
know.
30 years, 30 years.
Oh, my God.
I thought it was 35. It's been on.
You looked a little worried last night about the end of the third quarter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Were any of you athletes on Stanford teams?
My daughter-in-law was on the basketball team.
Really?
Oh,
And my son was on the soccer team.
Can
When
you
he-
count the junior varsity?
What?
Sure.
John Thorne, you said that you had played on some team.
Well, I
Yeah.
played on the junior varsity football team. Dick Borda,
Oh, sure.
and he, of course, went on to play on the varsity. I never made it that far.
Along with me, with Jack. I played with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Dick sent his greetings. He wasn't able to be with us today, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I have greetings to everybody from Mary Hudson, who had another, she's got on a Zoom with area code friends. So she had that first.
Stephen, Dr. G,
Yeah.
how come you weren't playing golf today?
I played at the Hayward golf course. Par 3
He played
course,
earlier.
9 holes. But I'll be playing on Thursday for an 18-hole course.
So
How
good
many
to have you
days a
on.
week? How many days a week do you play?
2 days, Tuesdays and Thursdays with my neighbor.
Do you walk around the course?
Of course not. I take a cart. Save my energy.
I wanted to ask about this Ukraine war. How does it brings back to me very bad memories of Second World War. And probably does to you people also.
Yeah.
There are people living in the Ukraine of our age that are going through the same thing again, which is very, very upsetting.
Extremely. I find it very difficult to read the news about individuals there.
Yeah.
And watching the news is very, very hard. So
Oh, all that, those rubble houses, it's just
it's
horrendous.
it's so evil. I can't fathom it.
I have a grandson who's in the Marines who flies jets, and I'm just crossing my fingers that we don't expand.
Yeah.
Well, I think we don't, because we don't want to
We
bring
don't
on
want to get into it.
a nuclear war
Right, right.
action, according to all the experts.
My wife went through the war in Berlin as a young child, and I'm glad she has died before this has occurred. This would have given her really a very serious problem.
Yeah.
What did any of you think about the Winter Olympics in China?
Yeah, we watched them all, but it was difficult to find what was going on because it didn't seem terribly well. The athletes were superb, and I was really kind of disappointed that everybody got involved in the China bad country China thing about it. That the athletes were there and they did and they did very, very well, and it was beautiful to watch.
Have any of you been to an Olympic event?
Stanford in 1984
What was it for?
and Los Angeles in 1984.
Yeah, that was 84.
Right.
They had the preliminary soccer here at Stanford. One
Yes,
of them
yes.
and and Stanford was the place where the Olympic swimmers practiced. And I know my son was helping with that because he's a coach. So, yeah, at one of the, I can't remember the last one or the one before that.
Did any of you know Julie?
They used the pool at Stanford.
He was a rower and he won a rowing gold medal in the Olympics. And he just died in New York. Got a big write-up in the New York Times.
Oh, yeah. Dewey Hecht.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dewey Hecht. two-man skull.
Yes, good for you. Good.
Ah, I remember.
Wasn't
I
he
just
with Jim
noticed-
Pfeiffer?
Yeah, I think so. The two of them.
When you all go out, do you mask up even though it's not mandated anymore?
Yes.
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 More or less. Yeah, sometimes.
Not all.
Grocery store, yes. Drugstore, yes.
Trader Joe's, yes.
Doctor's office, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're happy.
Donnie, what's happening over in Stockton?
Oh, it finally rained yesterday. That was exciting.
How much did you get?
Oh, I don't know about, I think it was 0.06, not an inch. Enough to water a few pots, yeah, and nothing in the future. But
Well, we count our rain in 1/100ths of inches here.
Yeah. And that was the first rain, I believe they said, recorded since January 1st, first measurable rain. We had a few drops last week. It just barely, dampened the pavement. So yeah,
Come up here to Washington.
But they got a lot of rain in Los Angeles, which is very good.
Yes, I got 265 here in Santa Paula.
really.
Huh.
I got close to 1 inch.
One irrigation. We don't have
Yeah.
to irrigate, we don't have to turn the pump on and irrigate the orchards.
Yeah.
Jack, are you going to send some down to us?
I'd love to. You can have them. But we get maybe 3 or 4 days of no rain at a row now, every now and then. We had temperatures last summer up into the hundreds, but we get no rain at all from normally May to September.
Well, that's true here in the Bay Area as well. In fact, they were saying in the paper this morning that the rain that we had Sunday and early Monday morning is the last rain we can expect until fall.
But on average, we get about 36 inches a year.
Yeah. And in Australia, they're going down their streets in rowboats.
Okay.
Where did that contamination come? Was that the Navy tanks that everybody's been talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the underground tanks that were built, around World War II. And they've been leaking or the piping. It's an amazing system because, it's the oil, gas, whatever is unloaded out in the ocean. We can see the tankers and then it goes up into these tanks, but they haven't been very good about letting us know when they leak. So it actually affected 93,000 homes.
Oh,
Most of it was military housing, and they had to put them up at hotels, what have you. It was really difficult. So now everyone, and the Navy just kind of avoided the whole situation because people have wanted them to be, removed for years, and the Navy hasn't been very honest about it. So it's kind of sad. I don't know what they're going to do.
Dorcas, what's happening with the avocado thing? I just got some avocados and had to throw them all away.
What?
What's
Why?
going on?
Where did you buy them?
I bought them at Costco.
Okay, did you check the label on them to see where they came from?
It wasn't from Mexico.
They were not from Mexico.
No.
I don't know which packing house is supplying Costco now, so I can't tell you that.
Okay.
But we did pick several of our other varieties, not Hass, but other varieties, and sold those. But we haven't picked any. Well, we did pick some Hass because the price was $2.25 for an 8-ounce piece of fruit. And that's pretty darn good. Because I can remember years ago, our field man calling me and saying, Dorcas, you may want to stop picking. The price is 10 cents a pound.
Oh my gosh.
Avocados have changed in the last 55 years.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Is that because of guacamole becoming popular?
Well, Well, and part of that and part of the fact is that people have learned to eat avocados in many different ways.
Mhm.
On a salad, on a burrito.
How
on
about
your
avocado,
toast,
avocado
your-
toast?
Just avocado bread.
Yes.
So Dorcas, I earned the money from my first wife's wedding ring selling avocados that grew in my backyard.
Ah.
Yeah, I have these big avocados, Dorcas. They're like this, seriously.
Oh, I know.
And huge. And what's hard is to tell them, is to find out when they're ripe. I have the worst time figuring it out.
Well, in my family, they're always called them pears. They never called them avocados.
Avocado pears.
Pears.
What they used to call them.
Alligator pear.
Alligator pears.
Alligator pears.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
The best way to tell if an avocado is ripe is to put it in your hand and not squeeze it, but just feel its softness all the way around.
Yeah.
If you squeeze it, you leave a bruise mark. And that I've many times see people picking up the avocados in the grocery store and they'll pinch them. And I say, don't do that. You're marking that fruit and bruising it so that when the person buys it and takes it home, they're going to have this bruised, spoiled area in that avocado. If you want to know if it's ripe, pick it up in your hand and just hold it. And you can really, it just gives and you can tell it.
You can eat the bruised part, can't you? It tastes pretty good.
Oh, you can cut it out if you want to.
But
Well,
you can eat it.
Well, wouldn't taste very good. The bruised part, no.
No.
It turns dark and black and sometimes it'll spoil at that spot. You don't
Well,
want
my avocado story. My avocado story is that when I was a kid, the one tree in our backyard was so prolific. It was my job to get rid of all the extra avocados. I'd load up my red wagon and goes down the street and offer them to all of our neighbors. And a lot of them didn't take them. You know, they didn't know the beauty of the avocado. No.
Where did you grow up, John?
In Pasadena.
Yeah. That was a long time ago when avocados were fairly new.
Apparently they were not known by a lot of people.
Right. Many different varieties.
Yeah, our neighbor across the street had two trees, one of which bore and the other of which didn't.
Yeah.
And I was always told that there were male trees and female trees.
Correct. Yeah. And they need to be near each other. At least.
No, that's not totally true. They
not-
bloom
What?
at different times.
Ah,
The-
different
the-
varieties
the
bloom at different
bloom-
times, Dorcas?
Yeah, different varieties, yeah. But they bloom, the bloom opens or closes at different times of the day on the same branch.
Oh.
Really?
Now, in fact, we just came back today and I said, boy, everything's in full bloom now. And you can just see this bloom all over the trees. Some of them will take, some of them won't, but the flowers open and close at different times and they self-fertilize that way.
Ah.
And sometimes you can add another, we used to have a pollinator that we would put in, but now we don't bother with that nearly so much.
Dorcas, tell me about organic avocados.
Well, you have to grow them differently, what you can and cannot do with organic, and you have to wait 3 years to get them certified organic.
Do they taste different?
Nope.
Dorcas, you're not dependent on bees then.
Yes, we do. We bring bees in, but now we've learned from a fellow who is the bee man at the University of California that there are some plants that you can plant around that are really rather attractive, that attract the bees. And they also learn from photographing them at day and night in, let's see, in South Africa, that not only bees, but flies and other insects pollinate the avocados. So more things that you can get into the orchard that are good insects, the better. Yeah, after they pollinated the almonds, then they go to the avocados. And sometimes, and our bee person years ago used to leave her bees up here for the rest of the summer and sometimes all year. Until one year we had a fire go through and she lost everything. So,
Dorcas, I'm going to run out now and buy some avocados.
do that. Do that.
They're really good.
Wetted.
I was in the grocery store and there was one avocado. It was probably what we call a 40, but that's just the number of fruit that you can get into a 45-pound box. A 40 is probably an 8-ounce or 8.5, any rate. That particular avocado had $4 on it. That's what they were selling it for. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then I remembered, okay, I'm getting 2 1/4 a pound, so I'm not going to say anything.
I think one of the most unusual things that I had seen, I was on a Southwest flight to LA, and the man next to me took out an avocado, peeled it, and ate it right there in the seat. I've never seen that done.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't cut it in half and take the pit out or anything?
He just ate it like
oh my God.
Like a plum or a peach or something, just ate it.
What did he do with the seed, Patty? What
He
did
had
do
a
with
bag.
the-
He had a brown bag. He'd taken it out of. Yeah.
Get his hands clean.
What was that?
What we used to do when I was a kid was we'd have, my mother would cut the avocado, take the pit out, and then fill the hole with ketchup.
Oh,
my goodness.
Use the skin of the avocado as the bowl of, and just
Mother used to pour French dressing.
That's real.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was crab.
Crab or shrimp, yeah.
I wanted to mention that the fig tree also has male and female. So if a nice fig tree comes up in your yard and 5 years later there's never been any fruit, it's a male, you better get rid of it. That happened to me once.
Oh dear.
Took me a couple of years to figure it out why it wasn't bearing figs.
So Walt Manager, are you a lover of avocados?
I don't eat a lot of them. No.
Place in Kansas.
Oh, that's right.
Both.
Years ago, when my younger daughter was going to Case Western for graduate school, I was back there, and around the corner from her house was a grocery store. And he had this display of avocados, and he had on it calavos. And I said, oh, I see you have avocados. And he said, no, those are calavos.
Yeah.
And I said, no, they're really avocados, but
They could be both.
marketed by Calavo.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm a board member of. So I can tell you, and I grow them. So I know they're avocados. They're now
Maybe he thought they were guavas.
They're a variety, aren't they, Dorcas?
What?
Lavos?
Calavos? No, they are not.
Oh, it's just the name of the agricultural marketing cooperative.
Yeah, it was a cooperative.
Cooperative. It's now a straight up corporation.
Now it's incorporated on the NASDAQ. But yes, and I started out as a representative elected from our district by our growers to represent our district. We went through the grower business and being a co-op, and then we had built a packing house in Temecula that was going to have to be paid for as the revolving funds went back to the investors, the growers, and the growers didn't want to pay all that money. So we said, okay, we'll give you $1 for every, or a stock, one share of stock for every dollar in your revolving fund. So then we became a stock company, and that was really fine. And then we finally decided, hey, we could do even better than that. We had some growers that didn't want the stock, so we traded among ourselves, and then finally we went on NASDAQ. And then several years later, after, let's see, I was on that board 36 years. The only woman on it until the last 2 years.
Gee, have you written any memoirs about all of this so that your grandchildren and great-grands will know exactly how important you were to the avocado industry?
Well, I haven't written it, but other people here and there and everywhere else have written it down somehow. It's in some magazine someplace, the story of this or the story of that. No, I said, I'm not going to write it down. If you want to know, come put a tape recorder and I'll talk. But I'm not going to write it down.
Yeah.
How many acres do you have now, Dorcas?
About 270.
Is that all the combined, not just in
Yeah.
Ventura?
Yeah, that's everything in Ventura County, and 2 different valleys.
Yeah.
I have 100 more that we leased. My husband, before he died, signed the lease on 100 acres next door.
Dorcas, do you ever get tired of avocados?
No, I
Glad-
don't.
Yeah.
And once in a while, when I would make gravy for something, I would put some avocado chunks in that. It changes, just gives something.
That's in the Splendid table now. Yeah, I just was reading a recipe and they suggested doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've done.
Dorcas, hey, everybody, I have to tell you, I just Googled Dorcas avocado. I just put those 2 words up and listen to what it says. Dorcas McFarland, 5th generation Californian and mother of 6 children, the epitome of a successful, independent woman. And then it goes on from there. How about
Very
that?
good.
Woo!
I should get him to change the name. McFarland should not be there anymore.
No, but all I did was just throw up those 2 words, and immediately the epitome of a successful woman. I love it.
It's very good.
Thank you all. But I'll tell you, when I turned 90, I gave myself a birthday present. I hired a farm management company, which is a co-op of growers, actually, that manage farms for themselves and others. And I said, okay, you do it.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
it's been the most wonderful thing. I love it.
I guess.
Dorcas, I thought that the office behind you looked extremely cleaned up.
Well, I did get some boxes out of here.
You
I
surely
will-
did.
Yeah.
I have a question of those. Dorcas, you've had 6 children. My Connie had 6 children.
Yes.
How many of our other classmates have had 6 children?
I had 5.
I had 6. I have 5 living.
4 here.
3,
4.
4.
4.
5.
3.
So Marge and I figured out what was causing it, and so we only have 3.
You were a slow learner, Terry.
We have 3 sons.
One of mine is a freshman at Stanford this year.
For depression babies,
Yeah.
we've been pretty productive.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember that I had first 3 Kimballs, and then Charlie was killed, and I married again, and so I had 3 Phils. So we were the Thimbles.
If I could interject for a moment, I see that Charlotte Messick has joined us. She's on the phone, I guess.
Good.
Are you there, Charlotte?
Hello.
Well, while she's joining, I have to say, I hate to say this, but I have to say goodbye. I have to go for a fitting for my Munchkin costume.
Oh. Bye, Betty Ann.
Bye, Betty.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
I'm in New York.
Bye.
There we go.
John,
Yes.
Boyd, I'm sort of interested. Are you now that you got number oop doop doop published, what's your next one going to be?
The next one is a research I did in Italy about the Etruscans. So it's a novel about the Etruscans,
Ooh.
the
Wow.
people who went
Is
before the
it
Romans.
fictionalized into a story or?
Yes, it is. It's
Okay.
two archaeologists debating about the Etruscans and their influence on archaeology and world history.
Wow. What's the name of it?
I haven't a name yet.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yeah, I do. It's Those Who Have Gone Before, I think is the working
Okay.
title. Yeah, those who have gone before.
Great.
So how long is that going to take, John?
Oh, it's going to take another couple of years because I may have to go back to Italy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
May
I
have
think so.
But last night we were in Italy. We were up in the mountains above Pisa and looking down on the leaning tower of
Tower
Pisa.
of Pisa.
Looking down on that, and we could see the old Etruscan road all the way back to Rome to the south.
Oh,
Wow.
sure.
And
So they were very influential on what turned out to be the Roman Empire. Yeah, they preceded in fact, the first two kings of Rome, when Rome was a monarchy early on, were Etruscans,
Oh.
came from Etruscans. Yeah.
How
And they
many
had
of
a very egalitarian arrangement between men and women. The marriages were quite equal, which is all very interesting because if you look at their sarcophagus of the couples, they were all done in sarcophaguses were done with the two people, the husband and the wife, both on top of the sarcophagus. So it was a very interesting culture. And little is known about it because if you're an archaeologist and you want to get a grant, you go to Rome and you get a grant about doing something on the Romans, but not on the Etruscans because it's it's an open field. So I'm trying to explore that.
How many of you, anyone with this group has been on the Tower of Pisa?
On it?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I've been next to it.
I've been next to it.
You
You
did.
looked at it.
long
You
time.
know,
You can't really get on it today without a permit because
No, I know, but there was a time when you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How
remember
many-
being
how many
there
people-
years ago with my late wife and
Yeah.
at midnight on the moonlight, and we were up on the top of the Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
But
Many of us were afraid to go up the tower.
yeah, they salvaged
Be
it
afraid
because
to
it was
go up.
gonna fall over. When the Romans built it, they didn't do any soil studies, because that was before soil studies were done. So they built it. They built it on sand, and of course the thing started to fall over, and so this has been a problem clear back to when the Romans built it.
Well, it's still a problem today. We have a big condo tower in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Sinking.
With that Millennium Tower in San Francisco.
The leaning tower of San Francisco.
Yeah, it's
Marge not included. Is there anyone here who is not yet 90?
89.
Not yet what?
90.
90.
Their 90th birthday.
Oh,
I'm having
coming
mine
up.
on June. I'm having mine on June 4th.
John, you are going to be 90 on June 4?
Yes.
You may have the
Youngest.
new contender
I
for
think
the
I
youngest
think he's
person in
older
the
than
class.
I am. John, you're older than me.
So John Thorne, when is your birthday?
October this year.
And you'll be 90 on
Yeah.
October?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're young. Yes.
What day in October, John?
30th.
Wow. I think you may wound up being the unchallenged claimant to being the youngest person in the class. We'll find out.
Do I get a prize of some kind?
Well, you're still alive. That's some kind of a prize.
You're right. I'll settle for that. I'm
Yep.
trying to find the place in Italy that where you found the Etruscan ruin.
Well, there are lots all over
They're all
Italy.
over.
There
I
are
can't
lots.
find it. It's near a town that is not big enough to show up on my map, unfortunately.
Well,
But
they
it's
had
just,
about,
it was just a large rock that they had excavated, and they had a living space in there for.
there was the
some number of
Etruscan
people.
League, which had 13 major cities in it.
Yeah.
They had a league of their own.
I have a question for Walt. Look, is that, I'm assuming that's not a virtual background, Walt?
No,
Walt?
that's my
It's a real
library.
library?
Yeah, mostly those are professional books.
Yes. You know, my son, I don't have a big professional library, but I've got a fairly substantial collection of books in the house, some of which are hard copies, and a fairly substantial collection of paperbacks as well. And my son says, Dad, you got to get rid of those, because otherwise, if you don't, you're just going to dump them on us one of these days. And when you dump them on us, they're just all going into the trash bin.
No,
No, they
My daughter,
friends of the
my
library.
daughter has already gone through this twice to cull it down. Otherwise, there will be many more. Each time they come, they get clean out a bit more. They get sent to the library book sale, or where.
You know, the
So
friends of the
it's
library will take hardbacks locally. They will not take paperbacks.
Yeah.
And some of my most well-read books are in paperback form, because I bought them when I was a young lawyer and couldn't afford hardbacks.
Usually the Goodwill will take books, but they just dump them in a bin. But I know you can go online if you're looking for a book, and Goodwill is one of your sources that you can get them online. So I don't know whether they do anything with the books that you take and they have a big bin that you put in it. It breaks my heart to see these hardback covers going in and being tumbled around, but
Our
library, the library in Topeka has a Friends of the Library. Full of books. They have a sale annually. They also have a shop in the library where they put a number of the books that other people can come in and buy, so that our primary disposal for, not so much for professional books, but for our other books, has been with the local library.
Yeah, I think that's true. Pretty common.
When my husband died, who also was in the same class, I donated to the Friends of the Library 26 boxes. And I still have just unbelievable numbers of books. This whole room, you know, the room like it below is all the way around solid books.
Patty, I gotta go. So goodbye, but this has been great. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you soon.
It's nice to see you.
Bye-bye.
I have to go too.
I do too. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate being invited.
Well, you'll be on the next time too, and you'll send that information to me. That'll be great. Walt, this is such a treat to have you with us. This is so exciting. And
Thank you.
Charlotte, I understand you're there too, but we don't see you.
Carol, are you in Honolulu?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. I've been here. I never expected to be here. And I've been here for like 50 years.
Oh.
Yeah, a long time.
Beautiful place to be.
Stephen, you're back.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of gratitude because the weather is so nice.
Yeah.
Carol.
Whereabouts in Honolulu do you live?
I live in Little Heights, which is basically above downtown in Chinatown.
Now, Carol, I think I asked you this before. Did you ever run into any Nordikes?
Oh, yes, I know them well. I knew Mother, and then I know the twins, and the twins who famously, one of them was born 2 minutes before Barack Obama.
I think that's the next item that's going to be coming up on the CDC agenda, is a second booster for those of us who are of a certain age.
It's over 50.
And when, after the crash in October of 29,
Yeah.
Earth's declined.
Oh, yeah.
And
nobody could-
Depression, baby.
Partly because people were separated, partly because people were depressed. And it wasn't until the recovery began to take hold that the volume of births began to increase again. And it kind of contributed to our success in gaining admission to Stanford.
There weren't any.
There wasn't quite the competition when we applied than there is today.
Well, Jim,
That's a darn good thing for all of us.
Not only that, but we worked with 500 odd women.
We had the tail end of the vet.
The vets.
Classes ahead of us had more World War II veterans than did, but there were still a few. And we had just a trickle of Korean returning vets who was blinded. He was a Navy Air pilot who was blinded and was talked down into a safe landing, came to Stanford for our junior and senior years, and in our senior year promoted a blood drive. There was something like 4,500 plus units of blood collected in 5 days.
Wow.
wow, that's
More than had ever been done before. And it was a pretty amazing feat even before he came to Stanford for him to have been blinded and then talked into a safe landing by his wingman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over South Korea.
Muscle memory.
Okay, I got to go too, folks. So, but
all
anyway,
right. I'll wait till you're
all
able
good to
talk
meet you, Marilyn. Good to meet you, Carol.
Oh, good to
Honey,
see
good to see you again.
Good fun.
Marcus.
Thank you. Good-
Thank you
good
for
to see
coming.
Everybody. And as I say, it's good to be seen.
Or aloha.
I love
Yeah.
Thank you all.